I was so ready for Chapter 5 Season 2, but the game was broken the entirety of that day the season came out. I had been edged very badly, man, and I just wanted to grind in game a little, but there were too many issues with the game that day. I think a whole ass patch had to be re-released in order for the game to work, and even then, the game was still buggy as hell. It wasn't until like the very next day that the game became playable again, but by then, I was already itching, I was crying, I was having panic attacks because I couldn't have Fortnite in my life. It's like a gambling addiction, but worse. I wouldn't wish that pain upon my worst enemy. Anywho, the game eventually was playable again. Very cool, epic, I appreciate it. There were still some bugs in game here and there, but it was nothing major. I was finally able to play, to grind. And funnily enough, I got the battle pass literally the second I logged in, cause I forgot about the crew thing they have. I forget to cancel it, so it's literally just draining my wallet slowly but surely. Anyways, with this new season, they ended up adding more weapons, of course. They ended up adding different medallions, which are pretty different from the older ones from last season. Instead of just constantly healing you, these actually have their own unique abilities, which are pretty overpowered when you have all four of them. They also replaced some areas in the map, which are pretty cool, not gonna lie. I really like their design, and the loot that you can get in these places is pretty good. So that's what I'm gonna be checking out in this first game. For my first game, I decided to land at the underworld. It looked pretty spooky, and it actually gave me God of War 3 vibes. I wanted to relieve that memory, you know? I wanted to touch up on Hades. I wanted to tickle him, maybe give him a wedgie, maybe give him a swirly. I just wanted to bully bro. I wanted to see what his medallion was, what the weapon he has was, and just experience the boss fight, I suppose. And I was actually pretty surprised. The boss fights have changed. They feel like actual boss fights, you know, like it's in stages and stuff. You actually have to beat the small enemies in order to fight the actual boss himself. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But yeah, this was just deja vu all over again. I mean, Kratos versus Hades. Come on, man, that's God of War 3. I mean, how could I ever forget? You literally cracked that man's skull open with his own blades, and then free all the souls that he's devoured throughout his lifetime. That was a crazy ass boss fight, man. But anywho, this Hades is a wimp unlike the other one. He dropped his medallion and it's a siphon ability pretty much. You partially heal after getting an elimination. That can be pretty useful, especially in ranked where it's gonna come in pretty handy. The new SMG is so good as well. Like, I know it's supposed to have like a accuracy decrease effect while being fully automatically shot over time, but even then you kinda don't even feel it. It does very good damage. It has a very good fire rate, and it's pretty accurate. It's a great gun, man. 10 out of 10. Oil it up and leave it in front of me. So far, the medallions and the weapons seem pretty good. The medallions are fun and have pretty useful abilities. The weapons, they're great. The DMR, the SMG, the assault rifle, and the shotgun, they're all good. The only thing that's left is the lightning bolts and the wings. The wings are good. They're good movement, but they can get you killed mid-air because they don't move as fast as other previous movement items. The lightning bolt, I feel like it takes too long to launch an attack, and that leaves you open, so anybody can just like take shots at you and just eliminate you. The lightning bolt does decent damage and can mess someone up, especially a no build, but again, if you're getting third party, you're pretty much done for, I think. I ended up playing some more matches just to get more familiar with the map, with the weapons, with the medallions. The combat is so fun this season. I'm actually enjoying it a lot. There's not much to say. I feel like this season is just right, you know? There's not a whole lot of flaws. There's like a couple of bugs here and there, but nothing too major. I wanted to explore the rest of the new areas in the map just to see which one feels better for me to like land at and stuff, I mean. And I actually ended up having a lot of fun just exploring, looking at the design and style that they chose for these new areas. I really like how they made these boss fights again. They're pretty cool. It actually makes you feel like you're doing something for the Fortnite universe. It kind of feels like you're playing Dark Souls in a way. Like you get the cool music, you're in a cool atmosphere, in a cool area, a cool setting I suppose. And then you're just throwing hands with all these NPCs. Sure, it's not that difficult, but I mean, it's a pretty cool little touch. With all the additions to this map now, of course you're also getting new NPCs around the island. You can hire new mercenaries, I guess you could call them that. You can buy loot from new NPCs around the map, and you can talk to some new ones as well. One of them actually being Hope from last season. She practically just explains the whole situation with Valeria, her sister, how the gods came into the Fortnite island, and what their goal is. The whole thing is a little crazy. I know I'd be scared if that were to happen here in the real world, but thank God that's just a video game. And also they ended up adding Poseidon as a NPC, and he does not look that evil, you know? He doesn't look like someone you should be scared of. He looks like a total sweetheart being a blue piece of goo. Last time I seen that man, he was getting bullied. You were taking his lunch money. You were harassing him. He was begging for mercy. And now, instead he's in the Fortnite world giving you chug splashes. So in conclusion, I don't have much else to say. The season seems pretty solid, pretty fun. The weapons are cool, the gameplay is cool, all the mechanics are fine. I don't have to yap anymore. So I think to wrap this video up, I'll just leave you with a victory royale. I hope you enjoy. I ended up landing at the underworld again, gave this silly ass man a wedgie, took his medallion, and after a bit, I came across this human hiding under the stairs. Bro really thought the stairs were gonna keep him safe for him. I really like the new assault rifle, but god damn does it pack its recoil. You really need some attachments on this thing to make it handle a little better. Otherwise, you're gonna be missing shots like crazy. But either way, it's still pretty good. Also, these are some pretty good examples of what I mean with the lightning bolts. It's pretty similar to the TMNT weapons from the last season. Sure, they can be pretty devastating, but if you know how to get away from them, you'll be fine. You can use that opening to your advantage and just end up eliminating the other player. The fact that it takes very long to load up an attack puts them at a disadvantage, especially in tight areas. Also, this hadn't crossed my mind up until when I tried it. Fighting this guy, shooting him through these walls was so easy only because of the thermal sight. Sure, you would be able to see your enemy using any other lenses or even with the crosshairs, but to actually be able to see his whole character makes it so much easier, especially at longer ranges. You can create a little opening, create a little window on your wall, and just start blasting them. The thermal is going to be very helpful for those peak shots and stuff, you know, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Anyways, after fighting off those two guys and making it into zone one last time, I was met by the last two people. This guy, which I gave a swirly to.
Bet you're feeling pretty bad right now. What?
And then the very last guy, which seemed pretty clueless, I'm not gonna lie. I think no build may be a bit harder for the casual players this season, only because of the lightning bolts and the fact that if you want to run away from a fight using the wings, you are still at a very high risk of just getting shot down and sent back to the lobby. I don't know, that's just my observations. Of course, if you play ranked, it's gonna be harder on build, as usual, but should still be fun. It's a pretty cool season, I think. So that's it. I got my win, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave any feedback if you want. It would really help me. I hope you have a good one. Bye bye.